Welcome to Sacred Wandering with Keira Brinton. My friend, this is a corner of the world where time stops, where the noise in our minds quiet, where we have soft hearts and we open our palms and we ask. This is a place where we receive. I invite you to join me as we wander through the sacred together. Welcome to Sacred Wandering. Good morning, my love. Good morning. I am so grateful to be here with you. It fills my heart to gather in prayer with others. It's my favorite thing to do. Which is why we do that on every author adventure, or why we do it in immersion. This is my favorite thing to do. This is sit and be in prayer. And I want you to know that even though I may not know you or your name, I feel you. I feel your presence every time we gather here. And I want you to know that you are known by God, that you are so important, and you have immense value. Would you let that sink into your body? I want you to put your hand on your heart and just say, I am known by God. I am deeply important, and I have immense value. There we go. Just letting all this truth move into the body. We're going to begin today with 3 breaths. We're going to breathe in the frequency of love, and we are going to breathe out fear. For our cells only know one master, fear or love. And so it is our job and our responsibility to pour love through the body so that our cells may move with the frequency of God. So I want us to take a nice deep breath in, breathing in love, allowing your cells to awaken, and then breathing out fear. Again. And out. And in. And out. There we go. Today we're going to call in all of our angels and our guides in and through the divine light that they may come and sit with us, to hold us in safety and peace, and to partner with us in our work. I'm going to begin by reading a message that I got almost a year ago. My current prayer book is downstairs in my backpack, so I've been pulling out my old prayer books, reading old prayers. And this one I never read, and it's one of my favorites. So these are the words that God gave me. Breathe and be. For this purpose you were born. Never shrink, but instead rise. Isn't that beautiful? The message that we always want to remember, that there is a purpose in why we are here, and that we are to never shrink, but we are to rise. There's that holy scripture that I don't know it word for word, but you know it and I know it, which is, don't hide your candlestick behind a bush. Maybe that's what it says. In other words, God's saying, please stop shrinking. I didn't make you to shrink. I didn't make you to hide your light. For what? To make other people feel comfortable? What? No. Make people uncomfortable with your light, because guess what? It will make them have to grow. It will make them have to shine. When we dim our lights, we give everyone else the permission to dim theirs. And that is not the way. The way is be the torchbearer, the one who lights others' torches. But that means that we can't shrink. That means that we have to do the things that are scary. and put our faith in the one and only God who can part Red Seas, who can heal the blind, who can let manna fall from the heavens. And as we trust this God, as we put our faith in a presence that is within us and above us, that breathes with us and helps us take steps even when our feet want to crumble. For it is in this is where we become the miracle workers that we were created to become. God didn't create us for monotony. Like what? God didn't create this earth and the oceans and the mountains and the volcanoes and the animals and the rivers for us to live in monotony, for us to live in sameness. No, God created this for miracle workers to rise. And it is only in this frequency that we may find our deepest fulfillment. Otherwise, we will suffer. For anything less is suffering. Oof. Some fire coming through today, huh? You never know. Never know what God's going to pour through on these. Goodness, let's go into prayer, shall we? And let's see what God has for you today. So I invite you to pick up whatever has been keeping you small, whatever has been hiding your light, whatever it's a belief, it's a problem, it's a worry, it's a fear, it's a person, and you're going to pick them up. You're going to put it into God. And you're going to allow God to transfigure this. We're going to allow God to transfigure it to match the frequency of miracles. And then we're going to ask that God will touch our cells, that our cells may match the frequency of who God has called us to be. And then we're going to ask for God to place his hands on our head to give us a blessing, that we may receive the words that God has for us today. And I will be quiet while you pray. Take a nice deep breath in, allowing God's words to move through your very being, that they are written upon the cells inside of you. We're going to open our palms and we're going to ask God, what's the number one action that you need me to do today? We're going to listen and receive. There we go. We're going to ask our angels to help us do this so that we may be in alignment with God's words for us today. And today I would love to remind you who you are, that you were called and chosen for a purpose greater than you could even imagine, and that you were not asked to do it alone, but that you were asked to do it in partnership with God, with the one and only God, the God that is the God of all the religions, the God that is the God of all of those who belong to no religions, the God is the God for all of those who are atheists, where there is one God, and he knows you. And you are not meant to walk this without God. That is why you were given such impossible visions, such wild dreams. For it is when we surrender our will and when we choose to co-create with God, that is when we rise in miracles. And that is when we live the lives that were prepared for us. For the paths have been laid, the doors have been built, the keys have been carved. And you, my love, all you have to do is pick up your foot and walk. And with that, I thank you for wandering into the sacred, and I will see you tomorrow morning in our prayer corner. Thank you for wandering into the sacred with me today. If this episode moved or inspired you, I encourage you to share it. Think of someone who needs this message today and text it to them. Let's add more light to the world by welcoming people into our prayer corner together. I also want to invite you to create your own prayer corner at home, a space set apart where you can return again and again to hear God's voice. To support you, I've created the Sacred Space course, which guides you step by step in locating, creating, and dedicating your very own sacred space. You're also welcome into the Sacred Wandering Facebook group, where you can share the blessings that God is giving you and be uplifted by others walking this path. You can find both of these resources in the show notes, or just send me a DM on Instagram at Keira Brinton, and me or my team will send them directly to you. I want to thank you for being one of the rare humans who chooses to sit at the foot of God, to ask, listen, and do. And as always, I want to thank you for wandering into the sacred with me.